Taurus, welcome to Tarot Readings by Roxby. I am here to do your weekly love and general reading for the week of July 24th to the 30th, 2017. Those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. Thank you guys so very much for taking the time to subscribe. Taurus, this week I am using Wheel of the Year by Lo Sarbeto. Taurus, I've already prayed over your cards for love, wealth, health, happiness for the week of the 24th to the 30th, July 2017. All right, Taurus. So Taurus, this week I am doing things just a little bit differently. I hope you guys don't mind. I just did not have time this week to pull all of those cards like I typically would. And I felt like I needed to change it up a little bit too. I was getting a little bit bored. So I hope you guys like the spread. Okay, Seven of Swords. Knight of Wands. The Emperor. Guys, keep in mind if the reading doesn't resonate with you to look at your moon, your rising signs. Seven of Cups. And those of you that would like a private reading with me, my contact info is always below the videos. Ace of Swords. If you're going to book through the website, you could skip the calendar. I did away with that calendar. It was just too much of a hassle. You could just email me. The Hanged Man. Ace of Pentacles. Wow, just two aces in here. Queen of Swords. And we're going to use the two cards at the bottom for the overall energy. Three of Pentacles. And the Hierophant. Okay. Now anything that I feel that needs clarifying, I'm going to use the Hanson Roberts Tarot. Okay. All right, so with the Three of Pentacles, so with this card, you know, you're working very hard, you're putting in a lot of time, you know, you're working with others, putting a lot of time and effort into something. With the Hierophant sitting right next to this, I definitely, you know, these two cards really do tell me, Taurus, that you are, for some of you, the Hierophant, this is your card. You know, working within a team, a network. Like, just working on maybe a group project, you know, professionals. You guys share the same values, you know, the same practices. Definitely working on some sort of project with both of those cards. Definitely a lot of teamwork here. You know, even with the Emperor being here, you know, it's like, you know, the Emperor definitely, you know, could be a business owner. This could be you know, your boss. You know, even with the Hierophant, like, you know, like conforming to the rules, you know, the structures of how things are supposed to be. The Hierophant, for some of you, there could be, legal documents that need to be signed concerning this project. It also represents marriages, committed relationships. For some of you, you could be involved maybe in a three-party situation. Now, with the Seven of Swords, this is that, risky energy. It does represent, that sneaky, shady energy, or it could be taking a risk on something. I feel like you could receive some sort of clarity that comes in that allows you, to be able to move forward with whatever this is. With the Knight of Wands, now, this could be that exciting, passionate communication that's coming in. That could be very sudden. You're feeling very excited. And even with the Emperor sitting next to this, you're feeling excited. You're feeling empowered. You feel in control of the situation. You're moving forward this week. Maybe even leaving stuff behind that no longer serves you. This could be, job, relationship. With the Seven of Cups, you could, be dreaming, desiring this week, dreaming about, the future, dreaming and desiring, fantasizing about what the future, what it holds for you when you leave behind what no longer serves you. But I feel like you're definitely in control of your thoughts and what you're dreaming about. The Ace of Swords, this represents that victory, after challenges. It's new beginnings, clarity, honest communication. If there has been a three-party situation, where someone has been, being sneaky, lying, stealing, you're definitely feeling strong and determined, to end this. Others of you definitely could be signing contracts for work, a new job, maybe a divorce. But with the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles both being in this spread right here, okay, this really does show me that, this creative idea that you guys are working on, if this has to do with a job, which I really feel for most of you it does. This new creative idea is soon going to manifest into a new business venture with really great initial success, like big time. That's solid, stable. With the Hangman being in the middle of that, you've been stuck in limbo. You've been in that suspense period. You've been waiting on something for a long time. I do see you being illuminated by the truth. And with that, because keep in mind, remember, with the Hanged Man, it's a temporary limbo period. It's just temporary, and it's not going to last. With the Ace of Pentacles, I think that once you're illuminated and the truth comes out, you're ready to start something solid. with the Ace of Pentacles, this is that solid, stable new beginning, a solid foundation. It could be a new job. It could be a new home. If you're involved in a group project, there is a big financial windfall for you. You could be waiting on an inheritance of some kind, a settlement, assets, and I do see that coming through for you this week. Definitely. Because, with the Queen of Swords, this is, being very honest, analytical. Again, she could also represent a lawyer, a judge. With the Seven of with the Seven of Swords and this Knight of Wands, you really could be involved in a very fiery, passionate affair. Hoping that no one finds out. Well, some of you are definitely in a three-party situation. And I think, honestly, guys, if that's the case, that's going to be revealed this week. The truth is definitely going to come out in regards to that. Let's really, all I really want to clarify is the Queen of Swords for you guys. Taurus. Because she could also represent, a lawyer, legal issues as well. But I do feel like a lot of you are signing contracts within this project. Yeah, that's what I'm getting here. Let's check her out, though. Okay, well, those two cards just flipped out. Okay, wow. Okay, wow. Okay, Justice and the Nine of Pentacles on the Queen of Swords. So, with Justice, you are definitely in a position where, your judgments are going to have an impact amongst a number of people, like this group. And then with the Nine of Pentacles, you're highly independent. You're able to enjoy the finer things, luxuries in life as a result of this successful partnership, this project. Now, if it's a three-party situation, I think it's going to have a big impact on you guys. Sorry to say. I just feel like if this is a secret and you've been trying to keep it a secret, it's coming out. For sure, Taurus. Let's pull some love cards. Because I also wanted to mention, too, that I do apologize for being late with this. I really wanted to get the rest of them, the last three, up yesterday. I felt awful yesterday. I just felt awful. I don't know why, but I feel so much better today, thank God. chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Yep, we see that here. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Telling you the secret's coming out. Somebody else is worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Taurus, this really could go in your favor for some of you that have been waiting. You know, if you're involved in this three-party situation and you've been waiting, you know, stuck in this limbo state, waiting to see what's going to happen, the truth is definitely going to come out. But I do think that it's going to go in your favor. Like, if you're waiting to be chosen, it is going to go in your favor. Definitely. All right, Taurus, that is all that I have for you. And I hope you guys liked this spread. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to view the video. Hope it helps you guys out for the week. If not, look at your moon, your rising signs. Taurus, have a great week. I will see you guys back here shortly with the monthlies. Oh, the morning oracle cards too. All right, Taurus, take care. Bye-bye.